Hi friends, Andrea here, and I have a fun video for you. This is another haul. Recently went to the creative reuse store in my area. It's called Scrap. And I picked up some fun stuff in this bag here, so I'll just pull it out in a moment and you can get to see it. But I did go in with a few things that I was looking for, but I mostly was just there to kind of look for scrapbooking supplies or card making supplies rather. And I don't make scrapbooking pages, but card making supplies. I have been kind of on a trend where I'm bored with my current set of stamps and I wanted to get some new ones to play with and, have fun with. So that's what I did. And I'll pull out everything first of all, and then we can talk about it and what I got. So I'll just go ahead and start laying it all out. But the prices at this place are very affordable. They are, I think, an entirely nonprofit organization. So everything is, donated by different, I don't know if they're donated by stores or by individuals, but yes, everything is donated. So that's kind of the nice thing. And then because all the things are donated, I think it works in a similar sense to like your Goodwill or any other thrift store that you go to where, you're helping a nonprofit with whatever their vision or purpose is. So I do believe that a lot of teachers shop at this store and get supplies for their classrooms and, other groups and organizations. I think I got everything out of here. One more stamp. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna put all of these things kind of over to the side here because there's a lot of rubber stamps which we will go through shortly. There is quite a lot to see. All right, so let's start with, I'm going to get these cross-stitching things out of the way first. So I have a friend of mine who made me a beaded cross-stitch ornament or gift really last Christmas, and it is just beautiful and detailed, and I know it took a lot of time. And I believe it was from a kit from this company. Anyway, I was kind of pawing through the cross-stitching stuff. I prefer to work on kits or to prefer to work on like patterns that come with the thread, just because I don't feel like I'm a confident cross-stitcher yet, and I'm still trying to figure out my rhythm. I've not done very much with really fine fabrics or thin, like just a couple of strands. So I feel like these are a good place to start with these kits. But there's a whole bin full of stuff and you're just basically pawing through the stuff and looking for things. So I found these, there's 3 kits. I'll start with this one. It is Crystal Hearts and it's by Mill Hill. Looks like the original price was $12, but it was sold for $2, and it's a beaded holiday sampler kit, and it has different kinds of beads. So it has like seed beads in there, and then it has like this little heart bead, and then it's got these like bugle beads, and then these little other differently shaped heart beads. So there's a lot of different stuff there. I thought this would be a good introduction for me to do a sampler for beaded cross stitching, and then even if I run out of all the beads eventually when I finish this kit, I can always use, I can find more of this fabric. This is 28 count, which is for me a little bit finer than anything I've ever used. I think the smallest count I've ever used is 14. So this will be a little more challenging for me, but it'll be a good intro because it has everything I need. It has the floss, it has the graphs, it has instructions, it has the needles even, and of course it has the beads. The only thing it doesn't come with is the frame, and if you're going to put all that time and effort into beading something like this, you probably want it to be protected. So I would probably take it to my local frame shop and have it mounted properly so that it doesn't, get dusty and things like that. But here's everything that's in the kit. It comes with all the beads, it comes with the floss, and I think it might be a little challenging to do white on white, but if you're loading up your needle with beads, that will be cool. And the fact that it comes with this bead needle, it looks a little different. I know it's going to be hard for anybody who doesn't cross stitch to tell, but it looks a little different than what typical cross stitch beads needles I'm used to seeing. It's very fine. So my needle threader will be putting in the work on this project, I believe. But the beads themselves, there's some gold, it looks like, and some silver lined bugle beads, some white beads, some kind of pearly beads. I think this will be really pretty, and it might be something nice to give as a gift to someone and say, like, you know, here, I made this for you. Maybe that makes me seem more like a granny than I am willing to admit, but you know what? Bring it on. I'm a granny. I'm not really a granny, but I like granny things. So this is from 1996, and yeah, I think it does it does give a lot of 1996 vintage vibes. So but it's super cute. I think it will be a really nice gift, and it'll be pretty. So I'm going to put that one aside, and then I will open, or I'm not opening, but I'm going to show this one. I'm not going to open any of these kits until I'm ready to start stitching on them, but I am really excited to kind of crack these open. I have one project that I'm still working on that is an embroidery project that I've had for a long time, and I want to finish it before I start doing anything like this. But I also have aspirations to do some cross-stitched ornaments, so I might have to put this on hold until after the holidays. So here's what we have. It's another Mill Hill kit. This one has buttons and beads in it, and it's got this cute little ghosty, and he's pulling like a pumpkin on wheels, like on a little wagon. And then there's these little fall leaves, and then there's this little moon button, and then the star. I don't know what that is supposed to be, like I don't know what, and is the ghost wearing like a little purple vest of some kind? I don't know really what's going on here. I might have to make a few changes because it seems a little strange. I don't know what that actually is going on, but it looks like he's holding this little, like a wand or something with a star on it. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's still pretty cute. And then they have it framed, and this is, it comes with all the beads and the buttons, and then it's stitched on perforated paper, which I've never tried before. But the item that my friend gifted to me is stitched on perforated paper, and then that was sort of like, ooh, I've never seen that before, and I wonder if it's easier to stitch on perforated paper versus fabric. Maybe not. Maybe it's actually harder, but you know, I've never tried it before, so I thought I would pick this kit up because it was only $2, and then I'll find out for myself. But it looks like it's got a lot of detail, and it's, you know, just an experiment. And if I hate it, I can always give it away to someone else as a gift. If I don't like the way it looks, I can give it to someone else. I feel like I have so many friends who, if I made this and then like posted it on my Instagram, they would be like, oh, I want that, you know? So, because it is pretty cute. So the original price was $9.50, and it was really just being sold for $2. I love that it comes with everything. I think if you compare the needle here, I don't know how well you can see that one, but needle there is a lot thicker, maybe, or maybe it's a couple needles together, but there's one with like a really big eye, and then if you compare that to I don't think you can find it, but if you compare it to this needle, this one is super fine, and you can see that the fabric is very fine as well versus the holes in this. So I feel like I'm probably going to be using more threads held together on this than I would be on this, so maybe this one would be better to start with. I'm not sure. So I'll put those aside. And then I have a third little package. It is a box. It's the same company, Mill Hill. It looks like it was $6.50 originally, but this was $2. It was $2 for like any of these little kits. So it has the box. It's like a little cardboard box. You can buy these kind of boxes in all different kind of shapes and stuff at most craft stores, and then you can paint them and finish them however you want. And then it does have the perforated paper, and then the pattern, and it's got all the other stuff in here, like the threads, the needles. So I like that these kits come with everything you're gonna need, and I don't have to go out and buy anything. So when I first started cross stitching, I got a kit. Well, actually, like way back, I think my mom and I bought some cross stitching kits to make ornaments, and those are really happy memories for me. And then I recently picked back up on cross stitching when I got something from my Buy Nothing group that was a Golden Girls kit. It didn't have all the threads in it, and I don't believe it came with any needles, but maybe it did. And it just was a pattern book with all these little Golden Girls patterns. And I made about 3 of them, and then I didn't finish any more. I had planned to get through the whole book, and I didn't. Instead, I'm buying kits. But these are different because these ones have beads, and the Golden Girls cross stitches that I did before did not have beads. So I just think this is a cute little box. It has kind of like a, I don't know what that is, checkerboard pattern to it, and then it's got this moon, there's some little stars, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a little pumpkin, and then there's a little pumpkin bead on there as well. So I think it's supposed to be like a harvest moon, maybe. And it comes with that perforated paper again. So I was just, I was kind of intrigued because it hadn't occurred to me that you could use the perforated paper and like put it on top of a box or use it in that way. Because I've seen like boxes that are covered in beading before that have like been stitched on or embroidered on, but never like this. So yeah, I thought I would give it a try, and I might not get around to it for a little while, but now I have something to play with. And I feel like this would be really easy to take with me on a trip and complete it on the trip while I'm just like sitting, relaxing, maybe somewhere. I don't know what kind of trip, because I always go on trips where I'm like active, but you never know. So the next thing is I'm going to do the beads, and then I'll get to the rest of the scrapbooking stuff next. But this one, I actually didn't see this one first. What I saw was this, and it was sort of rolled up a bunch of times and stapled, and I saw the crystals, and I was like, ooh, I want that. Those crystals look vintage. That clasp looks like a vintage clasp, and I was just intrigued. So I picked this up, and then when I was picking it up, there are these little like pull-out drawers that they bring you, and they put them on the counter, so you can't access it. You can just see it through the glass and then say like, can I see that? But when I was pulling this one out, I saw this, and the thing that I saw first was this bar pearl and some of these little pieces of citrine and the freshwater pearls, and then I was really excited. So I grabbed it thinking like it's probably no more than $2 or $3, and I was right. So this, this is actually two different pieces, and they're 2 pieces of broken jewelry, so I'm just gonna try and be delicate. But here we have what looks like it used to be a 3-strand bracelet of some kind. The clasp kind of goes like that, and then closes like that. So if you were wearing it, on your wrist, it looks like this is in the middle, sorry about that. If you're wearing it on your wrist, this is attached here. But it's obviously broken and not functioning the way it's supposed to. Also, I thought it was strange that these aren't actually attached the way they would normally be attached, like the way these are attached. I'm not sure if that was just somebody's kind of attempt at repairing or trying to make it smaller so it would fit them better, but it does look like it might be missing a few beads, maybe on this strand. It just looks like there's a couple missing. So it might have broken and then somebody tried to save it. The clasp itself has these embedded sort of gems. I think they might be Swarovski crystals. I don't know. But these crystals, there's two shapes here. There's sort of like this rondelle shape, that kind of like squished diamondy shape. And then there's the round crystals. And this is a little grimy. I can't lie. It looks like it needs a bath and a scrub, maybe even. Something got on it. I don't know what, but it'll be easy to clean with some dish soap and a little gentle, soft bristled toothbrush, and I'll put it in a little bowl in my sink so that the beads, if they fall apart, don't go down the drain. Like a little plastic lunchbox container or something like that, like a little Ziploc thing would be easy to kind of keep it contained into, but still scrub it. And then once it's clean, I'll be able to see what I got underneath. But just looking at this, you know, strand here, these have like a coating on them that catches the light. And I feel like these would be really pretty. So I'm not sure I'm going to repurpose this into a piece of jewelry. I'm not even sure. I have sensitive skin and I can't wear metal next to my skin to begin with. And I'm not sure if this is actually any kind of fancy material. I don't think it's gold. I don't think it's gold filled. I don't think it's silver. It's definitely got like some wear on the back, so it doesn't look like it's, if it's anything, it would have been probably gold filled maybe, but it doesn't have a stamp on it either that says, you know, that it's 927 or 925 silver or anything like that. So I guess my guess is it's just costume jewelry, but the clasp still works. Maybe somebody would want that clasp. I don't know. It's missing a gem here, so it's not really in great shape, and it looks just a little worse for wear. I'm sure that there's someone somewhere out there who'd be interested in it and can fix it up, but that someone is not me. So my idea when I saw these is that I could take these crystals off and put them onto some maybe like fishing wire or some other kind of thread and make them into kind of like sun catcher type of thing. So I'll clean up the beads first and then I'll see what I can make with them. But that was my idea because they're just really pretty. Now this piece, I don't really have any plans for it. It's just regular seed beads and some E beads or 6/0 beads. And these are bugle beads. And then these are interesting because they look like little glass hearts maybe. But they're kind of interesting shape. I don't know if they're all quite a heart. But I don't really feel like I'm not drawn to them. They are not pulling me in. But it was at one point a 2-strand of something, and then it has like this little rubber ring, and I don't know what it used to be or what it could have been. There's this little charm here that says booty. So I don't know if this maybe is like some kind of a charm that goes around your waist, or I don't really know, or maybe it was a lanyard of some kind, like where you hung something off of it, but it's been broken at the back where the clasp was, or wherever this thing, I'm assuming this was some sort of clasp that attached here. And then the person who was, you know, the previous owner tried to just knot it and obviously not lose any more beads, but it is not, you know, it's seen better days. It's definitely damaged. So I feel like these are interesting because they're the way they're drilled through. It's sort of, I've never seen that before, but I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with that. So that's just something for if I decide to keep it. I might just split it out into the beads it's, you know, that are there, and or I might give it to somebody on my Buy Nothing group if they want to tinker with it or repurpose the beads. So that's that. And then let's take a look at this. This might be a little bit of a longer video, so bear with me. So I thought at first that this was just beads, but when I got it open and looked at it, it is a complete necklace. It's not a style that I could see myself wearing, sadly, but I do think it is just absolutely beautiful and extremely well made. And in fact, I need to pull this like out of the way so you can just see it against the surface of this, my background here. But the pearl stick is really beautiful, and then if you look at the detail of how well made it is, I just want to show you. I'm going to try and bring it a little closer. It is wire wrapped. I don't know if that is gold or gold filled, like probably gold filled, but the wire wrapping is impeccably done. It's really, really well done. So whoever did this was good. Better than me. I cannot wire wrap like that at all. It's very fine. I think it's like 22 gauge wire, so it's extremely fine, and it doesn't look like it's, you know, got a lot of dents or smashes in it. These are freshwater pearls. There's a few different colors throughout the necklace, but it's definitely, you know, in certain shades of kind of this copper color. And then there's this, I don't know if this chain, but it looks like a box chain of some kind. It's also very fine and pretty. I don't think that the camera is picking that up too well, but it is a really pretty chain. It looks like it's getting a little tarnished, so, you know, I can clean that up. I have some jewelry cleaning cloths that I can use to clean that up. And then this is kind of an interesting way of wire wrapping these, but these little clusters. I don't know what the stones here are. This might be quartz, like a smoky quartz. And then it looks like this might be citrine. I'm not sure. And then I don't know what this is. Maybe moonstone, or maybe, I don't know, maybe like a mother of pearl of some kind. And then this, I'm not sure. I think this might be bone. I can't tell if it's bone or resin. I'm not entirely certain, but it does seem kind of tough. I feel like the only way to know would be to burn it, and I don't want to burn it. I don't want to mess it up. But so the whole necklace, it's like half of the necklace has this sort of pattern on it, where it's alternating between pieces of citrine and pearls, and then these little clusters. And that they're really pretty, but it's just not quite something I would wear. Although, you know who would wear this? I feel like my mom would wear this, so maybe I should just keep it as is and gift it to her, because it's just beautiful. So the only thing that I felt was wrong with it, I guess, if I'm going to call anything wrong with it, is that, well, for one, there's only beads on one side. I guess that's not wrong with it. But then these have these little quartz clusters, these teardrops down the side, and there's pieces of bone. It kind of has a very retro feel, I gotta be honest. It looks a little bit like some piece of jewelry you would get in the 70s, which isn't a bad vibe or anything. But the problem is that this hole and this closure, this clasp, are not really, you know, it's just not great. It's too big of a hole. I think I would have probably gone with a slightly smaller hole, or done something to make this bigger, because it's just, and then this is, the texture on this is really smooth, so it doesn't really grab, it just kind of slides around, and I feel like it's really easy for it just to unclasp like that. So that might be why it was in the donation pile, because it comes unclasped really easily. It might not come unclasped that easily if it's being worn, I'm not sure. And maybe you'd have to play around with, you know, the placement of it and get it perfect. But I mean, who wants to bother with that with a piece of jewelry? You just want to put it on and go. So it might just be that is the reason that somebody got rid of it. Anyway, it is just really gorgeous. I feel like if I was going to make any adjustments to it, it would probably be to attach something else to here and give it a proper, like, smaller hole that you can put this through so it can grab it. but I don't know if I would even change it or want to change it. I think my original goal was to just, I saw the beads here, these citrine and these quartz, and thought those are gorgeous, and I could probably part them out for something, and I don't know what these were. But it is a really beautiful piece. I think whoever worked on it or made it is really talented, and kudos to them because it is really well made. I think it's an interesting concept. It's really unique, and you know, it's really just stunning in terms of the craftsmanship, I guess, but the combination of materials as well is really nice and interesting. It's just not my taste, not my style. I wouldn't wear it, and I think the clasp is the problem. Like, how would you keep it on? So if that could be solved, if maybe we reuse or repurpose one of these other, it also doesn't seem to have like a center. Maybe this is supposed to be adjustable. I don't know. But yeah, if you can see, like, it just doesn't stay in any of these loops. So it's just not really very, it doesn't matter how beautiful a piece of jewelry is if you can't wear it. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is really pretty. I keep saying that and I'm just going to stop now. But that is such a stunning piece of jewelry, and I don't want to just tear it apart because of how well made it is and how much time it must have taken for the person who made it to wire wrap each one of these little pieces. And yeah, the quality of the workmanship is just nice. So I would feel really terrible taking it apart. But that is that. So I might just have to sit on it for a while until the guilt of not using it overwhelms me and I decide to do something with it. But for now, it was only $3 for this entire necklace. I can tell you for sure, if these are real bone, that these bone pieces alone would be at least $3. The gold-filled like wire wrapping and the chain alone would be more than $3. And then if these are not plastic and they're actually quartz, then yeah, it's those pieces alone, maybe like 3 of those would be $3 worth. And then the freshwater pearls, I think you can buy strands of freshwater pearls fairly cheaply, but it's usually like, I don't know when the last time I bought freshwater pearls was, but it's usually like $10, $11 for a strand. So for how many are used here, I think you could easily say that's $3. And this pearl alone would be $3. So everything here is worth way more than $3. This, if you bought this in a boutique, this necklace would be at the minimum $60, upwards of $120 maybe for the beautiful. And if it's real gold, if it's gold filled, even more. So it does seem fine enough to be real gold or gold filled. But that's just my take. I'm curious, you know, I wish that there was a way to know who made it and be like, I got your jewelry and it's amazing, and yeah, but I don't have a way of reaching out, so that kind of sucks. So those are the beading. So now we're moving on to the actual, like, the meat and potatoes. Sorry, I'm readjusting my seat here, but the meat and potatoes of this purchase. So I'm gonna save the stamps for last. I know, bear with me. I have some die cutting, but I'm gonna start with these. So these are just rub-on transfers. Usually they come with a little popsicle stick. This one does not. I think this is Crafter Square. I think this is the brand that is sold at the Dollar Tree. And I can confirm that because it says Greenbrier International, which I know to be a Dollar Tree brand. Remember earlier I was talking about that yellow scrapbooking paper? No, I didn't say it in this video. It was a different video, I think. But I was saying in another video that I have like oodles of this yellow paper that I don't know what to do with. One of the things that I was trying to do, I mean, when I say oodles, I'm talking like 1,000 pages of 8.5 by 11 acid-free cardstock that I don't know what to do with. So I got these for 50 cents because I thought that this would be one way that I could use that paper, because when you rub these transfers on, it rubs on the color as well. And so I could use that yellow paper and then you know, rub on this sentiment or this image onto a focal of some kind and then turn it into a card that way. And these kind of messages are really cute, like may your days be fruitful, and wear a crown, you're a fine apple, stay fresh. I just thought those were super cute, and I love the little faces and things like this. I could definitely see myself sending these to friends of mine and coworkers of mine that need a little cheer me up. So got those. And then this one is just some rub-on stitching. It was $1.50, and I'm not sure how much either of these things normally sell for. If this one is from the dollar store, then probably $1. So it's not great discount, but this one probably is $4 or $5 normally priced. And this is white stitching, and I think it would look really cool on a colored cardstock or black cardstock maybe even. So this one just does have the popsicle stick intact, but even if it didn't, I have popsicle sticks here that I can use, so I wouldn't, and if I didn't, I could use a penny or anything really. So I'll move these aside as I'm kind of going through all of the things that I got. The next ones that I got, these are the 2 die sets. This first one was a little bit more expensive. I think $7 is a typical price for like name brand products. And this one is by Karen Burniston, in cahoots with Riley and Company. This is a company I heard of recently. I attended this event that was called Stress-Free Card Making, and it was free. It was a free event, but you could pay a little bit more to get a ticket that gives you access to all the videos for life. So I wasn't sure I needed to pay to get access to the videos because I'm, you know, pretty much just doing bulk card making and I have my own kind of thing, but it was still, I got a ton of ideas. It was very much worth going or attending for the free ticket. I think if I was the type of person who needed more direction and guidance and to be able to rewatch and repeat the themes and instructions that I saw, I would have definitely wanted to pay for the full price of the ticket. But this brand or this person, I think, was one of the presenters at that card summit, and so this is a product that is made by her. So that's why I picked it up in the first place, because I saw it and I was like, oh, it's that person. I watched her video at the summit. So then I thought about, you know, what do I actually need this? And I thought that the set of dies that it comes with, and the examples here are really actually pretty cute too, but this is not, this exact card I'm not going to repeat. This exact card I will probably not repeat. What I will repeat is I will be able to use these dies in different ways, definitely different ways than are used here, but I will be able to use them in really fun ways that go with my style of card making. I have long been chasing after or interested in looking for a die that has these shapes, these leaf shapes on it. It's kind of a trendy shape right now. And it goes with a lot of my tropical themed stickers and papers that I have. So I think that will be great to make some accents. And then if there's these little clouds, it looks like you can also use these clouds as leaves or, you know, branches on the tree, basically. So that's kind of a double purpose. You can use them in 2 ways. I like that. I like that I could get 2 different sizes of clouds. I like that I could repurpose them with these tree branches. And then this, I feel like this could be a spooky tree. It, like, you know, just the branches and the naked branches. Or you could turn it into like you have on here, the tree with all of these And then if you did some interesting stamping or, you know, different colors, you could get a lot of texture. This circle die, I don't really need a circle die, but it does fit perfectly on the inside of the sun, so it seems like they would go together. I do really like the way this is stamped, or I'm sorry, cut, where you have the circle on the inside and then the sun rays on the outside. I think I would use that particular die a lot. I have a couple, I have actually at least one stamp that I love sending, and it's got like sending you sunshine and laughter or something along those lines, and I'm always looking for a sun shaped stamp to go with it, and I only have one stamp that is a sun shape. I might have two sun shapes, but it's always kind of tricky to figure out, you know, whether I'm gonna use that, or like if I'm trying to find a piece of paper that goes with it. And this just eliminates that, or it really adds to that stamp usage, because I can die cut the sun, and I can even do layers of different colors to get that sun effect, and that way I can incorporate colors from the card into that. So I feel like this is going to be a really useful set for me. And the clouds, I actually have a few stamps that talk about rainbows and rain and like cloudy days and things like that. So this would be perfect for that, because I could do a cloud and then have like the colors of colored paper coming out that make a rainbow, or I could put it on like after every rainstorm is a rainbow, and do some kind of fun things with the clouds. So that is the reason I picked this out with these dies, and I think I'm gonna get my $7 worth very quickly once I start using it. The next thing I got is this set of 3 Sizzix dies, and they're sort of decorative labels. I'm going to take this out just because I haven't actually opened it. Well, I cannot open this. Oh, sorry. It's loud and difficult to get in there. And I didn't want to shake the desk any more than I had to. So these are kind of thin ones. I do have a handful of dies like this that are this style. See how thin they are? And I like that they're labeled. But those are the shapes. And I'm going to tell you, like, this, I'm going to go on a side tangent or a little story. But a long time ago, I had one of those Cricut machines. I still have it. I just never take it out. And I was using it to try and cut these types of shapes out so I could put them on the fronts of my cards and stamp in them and use them as the center focal points of my embellishments. And I think I just realized that I wasn't going to pull out my Cricut every time I wanted to cut out one of these shapes. So then I put, you know, the Cricut away and wasn't really using it. And I've been like, I have a stash, we'll call it, of shapes that look kind of like this that I really like using, particularly because of this shape. But I also sometimes have things like this that I get in little kits where they're already punched out, or things that look like this. But either way, I know I can find a way to use them, and I like them. So this one is the one that I really know I'm going to use the most. I'm definitely not going to use it in the way that they have it on here, but I do know that I will use it. So I got this set because I actually had run out of my last one of these. It was the gold. I had one in gold cardstock, and I had used it on a Valentine's card, and I decided to bite the bullet and put a set of these kind of like label dies, I guess, or background dies in my Amazon shopping cart. And I was just thinking, one of these days, you know, I'll put it on my Christmas wish list, and, you know, if somebody buys it, I will get it. And if I don't get it for Christmas, then maybe I'll go ahead and get it for myself. So, but depending on how many other things I have ahead of that take priority in terms of what I'm spending my money on, it's not a high priority. Well, I went to the store, to this creative reuse store, and I saw this, and it was like almost the same shapes that I had in my shopping cart, but a different brand. I think the brand I had picked out was maybe Lawn Fawn, but I just thought I have to get it. It's only $3, and the set that I had in my shopping cart that had these dies, these shapes, was, I want to say like $17, maybe it was definitely more than $10. So I right away knew that I was not going to need to, you know, buy that one on Amazon when I can get this one for $3. And I don't feel guilty about buying it, even though I've been wanting these and I don't have to pull out my Cricut to get these things cut out. I have my Cuttlebug. I have a Cuttlebug and I use that for all my die cutting, and I have it out like all the time. So I take it downstairs and I crank it while I'm watching TV and doing things like that, watching movies. So I'm not concerned. I think I would definitely be getting a lot of use out of this, and I'm just happy that I was able to take some of the guilt away from myself on buying something that I knew I wanted, that I knew I was going to use or get a lot of use out. I think this is kind of dangerous to put it in that way, so I'm gonna put it in like this. I might have to take these out of the packaging. They're so difficult to get back in or out. So anyway, I think you get the picture. This store let me get the thing I was looking for, and a very reasonable and affordable price. Saving something from the landfill at the same time, and not having to pull out my big junky piece of electronic equipment to get that done. So I can still cut these shapes out of cardstock scraps whenever I have some downtime, or I'm like uncreative, or just I have a block, or I don't know what to do. I just take scrap paper and cut out different shapes of these to match with other papers, and then I have them ready to go to decorate my cards. So if I'm just kind of, I don't know what else to make right now, I just cut out things. I just die cut things in the shapes that I normally need and the colors I normally need from my scraps. All right, this is going to be the exciting part. We're going to do the stamps. I think I'm going to do this kit stamps last. Sorry, I know that's a bit of a tease. I'm going to do these other stamps first. All of these stamps, other than maybe this one, were $1 or less. So either $1, 50 cents, or 25 cents. And I don't know how much any of them were offhand because I didn't get a receipt. I think they texted me a receipt, but I'm not going to pull it out and look at it. So this first one is called, well, it looks like the brand is Rubber Stampede, maybe. It looks like it was originally $9, and Posh Impressions maybe is the line. For multicolor stamping, color directly on the rubber with Marvy brush markers. Okay, I don't have any Marvy brush markers, but now I'm tempted to buy some. But what I can do is just, I have Sharpies, so I can do that. I will do that. And I have this stamp cleaner, and it gets like everything off, so I'll try with that. And if I don't want to just do it with Sharpie, I can stamp with my ink and then color over my ink with like a pen or Sharpie marker, and then get like a different color here. So I could start with my darkest color and then go in with a little bit of a lighter color. I do also think I'm not the type of person that wants to do like multi-layer stamping for the most part. So what I would probably do in this case is just throw a little bit of embellishment on these lighter color leaves and then put some glitter glue in the center there and call it done. So this one, I think this might have been like $3, but very, very, very affordable. And I don't have a single other stamp like this. I've been actually looking for a die that has a poinsettia on it, and I didn't find one, but I feel like this will get me closer to what I was trying to accomplish. It was one of the cards that I saw in the card making, the stress-free card making summit. One of the designers had a really beautiful card that used in that style of embellishment. It was a poinsettia. So they used a die, but I don't have a die, so I'm gonna try doing it with a stamp and repeat that same look. Okay, so let's move on to the next stamps here. This one looks a little bit on the cheapy side, I can't lie, but it says muchas gracias, and I'm sure I butchered that. If you're a native Spanish speaker, don't be afraid to call me out because I don't speak very well and I need to get better. But this one looks like it is a green briar, so I think that that is Dollar Tree. So it looks pretty well used. It doesn't look like it's in great shape, but it doesn't look that bad. I think I can clean this up. So if you're interested in seeing a stamp cleaning video to clean up any of these used stamps, like this one is, it looks almost brand new. It probably doesn't need a lot of cleaning, but I'm going to clean it anyway. But this one has got a lot of ink on it, so I'm going to clean this one up. I think this one might have been $1, if that. Yeah, would have been $1 for that size. So I have this one that is, oh, I didn't mention that I only have one other stamp in Spanish, and that's one of the reasons I got this one, because I like to make cards that I give away in my Buy Nothing group or donate, and I like having stamps that are in different languages so that they can be a little more inclusive. So that's why I have one stamp that I got in a different haul recently that says Feliz Navidad, which is, I think it's sort of like Happy Nativity or Happy Christmas, or is what the direct translation maybe. Somebody who speaks Spanish can tell me in the comments. But this is the one that I got when I was there to the last time, and I think this just means many thanks or thank you. So I have now a Happy Christmas stamp and then a thank you stamp in Spanish. So I'm excited to be expanding my stash or my collection of Spanish stamps. Okay, so this stamp, I don't see a price, like an original price on it, but it does say Northwoods Rubber Stamp Ink 2007. And then it says Happy Father's Day. This, just in general, this design, the way it is, everything about it just tells me or gives me the feeling of like a stamp that I would buy in the like dollar section at Michael's maybe, but it doesn't look like it's ever been used, or if it has been, it's been very lightly used. And I think it's got a cute little, like this little woods stick design. I don't have any stamps that look like that. I have maybe one stamp that is for Happy Father's Day. And, you know, I just thought it would be cool to have some variety and do something different there. So that's all. There's nothing else to that. Moving on. This one, I almost put it back, but I decided to get it. It says, forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the wind longs to play with your hair, by, I think, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, but Khalil Gibran. So this has definitely been used, and I'm not sure who, oh, it was originally $9.99. I don't know who the stamp maker is. Great Impressions. Never heard of them, but I really like this, just this quote in general. I've been trying to kind of stock up on more kind of encouragement or inspirational stamps that I can use to send cards to people for charity, and that don't have like any specific message or sentiment on them, just sort of like a happy, uplifting message, not something that's kind of sad or depressing. So this one kind of struck me as something nice, like go outside and touch grass, basically. But I agree with the feeling that this evokes, in that getting out into nature is healing. So that's kind of what I took from that quote, and I really like this. So I'm going to clean this up along with the Muchas Gracias stamp, and then if you want to see that, leave me a comment. So I'm going to move down to the next one here. Hogs and Kisses. This just looks like the kind of thing like your grand aunt would stamp and send to you, and I am that grand aunt. Like, yeah, that's me. Hugs and Kisses. This is so cute. I can definitely use this for Valentine's Day. I love that one has like a clipboard. What is he doing with that clipboard? Is he like making a list of who is, you know, in need of this little cards with full of hugs and kisses? Anyway, Rubber Stampede is the company, I think. It doesn't have a year on it, but definitely looks kind of vintage. And it doesn't have a price, like an original price on it, but I bet you I paid like 50 cents or $1 at the scrap reuse. This one is a little bit lightly used and it has some kind of ink staining on the side, but otherwise in pretty good condition. I think this looks like a winner. I will be excited to use that. So I have a few more here, just a few left, and then we'll move on to the kits. So be patient. This one is pretty much just what you see is what you get. This is $6.99 originally. Great Impressions. Centralia, Washington is sort of, I don't know if that place is near me, but Washington is nearby where I live. So maybe this got donated by this company or was carried by a store in this area. I don't know. But this stamp looks like it has never been used. I really like the Sew What's New. I think I have a few pieces of scrapbooking paper that have like stitching on them. And then I also got the rub-ons that have the stitching on them. And I have those pumpkins, the stitching and stuff that I got from another haul from the same store. So that's one thing. And then I feel like there's a lot of different ways that you could use this. If you have, if you wanted to do an embroidered card, if you wanted to stitch or embroider on a piece of felt and then glue that on the card, I feel like you could just do a lot with that. So also, if you didn't want to do any of that, you could just do stitch marks and stitch like a little heart or a little stitched face or any number of things with just pen, just like using a white gel pen or any kind. So yeah, this one says, "So You're So Wonderful," along the same lines. I think this one is by I'm gonna tear it, but it's Barbara L something, and I think I know who that is. Like, they're a designer in the craft stamping space. Ellingsworth, maybe? I'm gonna butcher, probably. My memory is terrible. But the original price was $7.99, and also this is from Great Impressions Centralia. So I'm wondering if these are kind of part of a set of some kind. I'm not sure, because these are both from the same store, and they're both on the same theme of sewing. You're So Wonderful and So What's New. I just thought those are cute. I do sew. I'm not the best seamstress, and I don't sew that often, but I do sew and I stitch, so I think that those would be cute. And one of my best friends is a seamstress, a fabric magician, honestly, and so I think these would be fun to send her in a card. Okay, so I have 3 left. Keep Your Face to the Sunshine and You Cannot See the Shadow. Kind of in line with this other stamp where I just wanted something uplifting. I'm trying to collect uplifting themed stamps. This one looks like it was also $9.99 and from that same Great Impressions in Centralia. Some of the, I don't know if these are designed by them, but I like the sentiment. It's uplifting. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see the shadow. Think about it. If I use this little sun and then I put this and then the cloud, you know, like I could put like a shadow under the cloud and then like a sun and then this stamp, I could, you know, use all these things that I got together. So I could easily put a lot of different fun cards together with that stamp, and it would be a great donation card. Here is one that says, "May you find comfort in your loving memories," and it is by Kathy Davis for Inka Dinka Doo, and That's all. It doesn't have a year made or anything like that. But Inkadinkado is a stamp company that is known for their inks and stamps and other, you know, paper crafting supplies. I think that this is a really nice sentiment for sympathy card. And this is something, a version of this that I say to people when they've lost a pet or a loved one. I think, you know, what I usually want to say to people who've lost someone, because I've been through that grief, is that, you know, why don't you tell me about your favorite memory with that person? And sometimes it's too raw and they don't want to think about it. And sometimes they're happy to remember those. So I think getting this card is, you know, when you're grieving and you get a card, it is kind, it's a kind gesture, but you're not always in the mindset to look at it and feel the feeling from that person. And then if you go back later, go back through those things and find it and stumble upon it, then you feel even more touched by that message. Just my 2 cents, my perspective from having received sympathy cards in the past. So I really like that message. And I'm not a thoughts and prayers kind of person, so I like that this is kind of neutral. So here's the last stamp in my loose stamps. Also, this is used, so I'm going to have to clean this one up a little bit, but there's a few of them that are going to need some cleaning. So that'll be a separate video. This is the last one. It says, if nothing ever changed, there would be no butterflies. And it's by Stampin' Up. I don't know if Stampin' Up normally sells stamps in like solo or in a kit. Maybe it comes with others, but it does not have anything else with it. So I don't know what year it was produced or anything else. But this is a really cute sentiment. I think it's part of this group of like uplifting themed stamps. And I have so much butterfly themed paper or butterfly die cuts or things that have like stickers that have butterflies, that I think that this would be great to go with that and just be a nice, really uplifting card. So that's all for that. I'm just going to move these over just to kind of clean up and save some space here. And then we'll move over to the kit. I guess I'll start with this one. This one was $1.50 and it's also by Stampin' Up, but Stampin' Up not doing a rubber stamp, it's doing clear stamps, or the photopolymer cling stamps. It's interesting because it has like photopolymer stamp set, sail a Bration host. I don't know if this means that like if you host a party, like kind of like an Avon party, you get this for hosting, or if you can only buy this if you're a host, or what exactly. But it's pomegranate and it's got all these different shapes, and I just was intrigued by that. Pomegranates are something that my mom really loves eating, and my grandpa I think loves eating them too, so it just kind of jogged my memory when I saw that. I thought, oh yeah, my mom loves those, and that might be a cute card to send to her. Hi Mom, if you're watching, if you tell me, I'll make you a card with this. This is really difficult to get out because of how sticky it is, and I don't want the sticky to get onto this, so I'll try to bend it backwards and then just invite it out, but it might not come out. It's kind of tucked together here. There's a little like guideline paper here, and I don't know, maybe it's never actually been, no, that's not true. I just got the stamp out, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I was just thinking maybe it never actually been removed, but no, I just got the stamp out, so that was silly. I'm not thinking. But this is really difficult to get out because of the tape that they use to close it up. I'm not sure if this is a complete kit. It might be missing something, but so it's got, these are the stamps that it comes with. And there's no kind of guidelines on how you would assemble them together, really. I mean, I I'm willing to bet that somebody on the internet has made a card with this stamp set, and I can just look at that idea. But there's a few flowers here, and then there's a cut open pomegranate, and then just a completed pomegranate, and then some leaves. I guess this is just for texture. I don't know if you're putting, because this looks like this is the texture that goes in here. So maybe this is just another textural element. And then there's this flower. Maybe this goes in the center of that flower. I have no idea. But I'll have to look and see. It'll be an adventure. And then there's this little branch of some kind. So I feel like it could be a fun little card if you combine several of these elements. I don't know what I would do with this. It almost gives you like tryptophobia. Not really, but it does kind of feel weird. Like, what is that? What is the purpose of that? So anyways, there's 10 photopolymer cling stamps. It was $1.50. It's a pomegranate. There's some pretty flowers in there. There's some cool leaves. It's got an interesting texture, almost like a burlap texture. I don't know if you can see that, but it's on that texture is on the stamps themselves too. I don't know if you can tell, but anyway, that'll be an interesting one to play with. I feel like it would make a really pretty Mother's Day card. So I'm gonna have to give it a try, but I don't think it's gonna be able to live in this bag anymore. I think this bag is gone. Like it's done with its days, or at least this tape is done. It's done its job for me. I don't want to keep it, but I can keep it in this bag if it will go back in smoothly. So I'll have to look and investigate. Maybe if somebody knows more about Stampin' Up, you can tell me if this is like a typical host gift or if this is like a cheap set or what to expect with this, or if you know somebody who's made cards or done anything with this set. I'd love to see it, so you know, let me know. But otherwise I'm just gonna have to experiment with that when I'm ready. And then the last thing that I got in this gigantic haul video is, oh my gosh, I'm over an hour long now, is this. I don't think these are all from the same set, and it looks like there's some pieces missing from the set, but it's called Brighter Tomorrow. It's 2004, and it's actually, it says a set of 6, 1 2 3 4 5, so it's only missing one stamp, and who knows where that stamp went to live. Found another owner, another home. Maybe I'll cut this to save us some time from having to deal with that. All right. Oh, it's taped over here too. Wow, they really did a good job of keeping it. They probably don't want people opening up the sets and then like mixing and matching things around, because that would, you know, destroy the set, and maybe it just came like this. But I'll just take the stamps out. They don't look like they've ever been used. Similar to, I got another set of Stampin' Up stamps recently from the same store, maybe about a month or two ago, and just like this set, they were not even touched. They hadn't even been used. This one was $2.50, which is a pretty good deal for 5 stamps. Usually at the store for a stamp of this size, you'd pay maybe $5 or $7. So I call that a pretty good deal. And then for kits like this, you know, depending on if they're like on sale or clearance, or if you have a coupon, you're not usually going to get a set of stamps like this for $2.50. Like, that just doesn't happen. So you're getting like clearance pricing on pretty good quality stamps. So the one that I'm probably not going to use the most is going to be this one. I might regift this one because this just isn't a sentiment that I feel fits with my ethos. Whatever happens, God is there to keep you safe within his care. It isn't me, so I wouldn't probably send it or stamp it, but I would like for someone else to have it who is going to use it and feel connected with the message. But it's not me. Let's move on to the other stamps. So this one is really similar to that other sympathy stamp that I got. And I had trouble letting this one go because this one is really similar in the, you know, what it says. But this one came in the kit. I wasn't really getting the kit or the set for the stamp, but it's so similar. May the beautiful memories that fill your heart help to bring you comfort. I feel like both of these say the same thing, but it's slightly different, and there's no harm in having kind of variations of a theme of sympathy. But I may end up just, you know, giving that one away as well because I already have one very, very similar. But the reason I got this pretty much was because of this stamp. Because I saw this one and I saw this one, these two. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I got this landscape scene with these dies, and immediately I thought, after the showers, the smell of flowers is such an uplifting and positive sentiment. I think it'd be wonderful to include that with some clouds, and you know, maybe I could include some stickers or some other flowers somewhere. I think that'd be really fun. And then this one, tomorrow's forecast, brighter than today. Again, another place where I can use the clouds and the sun dies and make a card with this stamp. So I was really excited that a lot of the stamps that I found really fit with this set of dies and allows me to really maximize the usage of those dies. I mean, I would have probably already bought these because I have other stamps that have or I have other papers really that kind of, I have some papers that have raindrops on them. I have some papers that have flowers, and I have some papers that have like cloudy skies and things like that. So I think I could use these even without that set of dies, but you know, when I can get those dies as well, I think it's just adds to the value that I can get out of all of these stamps. And then this stamp is the last one. It says, the best thing about the future is that it only comes one day at a time. I don't know. I really don't know what the occasion for sending this would be. Maybe it is an uplifting sentiment. I'm not sure, but let me know if you have ideas in the comments of like what kind of a card would you include this on? Would you put it on the inside? Would you put it on the outside? I feel like this kind of gives me more of a scrapbooking page sentiment feel. It feels like something that you would put like next to like a layout that has a bunch of pictures of your little kids on it or something like that. So it's hard for me to picture how I would use that. I bet you for all of these Stampin' Up! Sets that somebody, one of their demonstrators, has created some videos on how to use the stamps within these sets, because it seems like there's just a lot of people out there that make content for Stampin' Up! To get more eyeballs on their products and to, you know, encourage people to buy those products. So they usually do a lot of demonstrations or examples of those, how to use those. So I might check that and see if that gives me some ideas. But, you know, Abraham Lincoln is a former president, and maybe it would be cool to put on like a men's birthday card with like a top hat or something like that. I don't know. I'm grasping for straws here. So I would be interested to know what you guys would do with this stamp. I just can't think of anything. I do feel like I might probably give away a couple of these stamps because they're not me, and just keep the ones that I like. But I don't know, convince me that it's worth keeping the ones that I'm not really into. But I wouldn't have bought them if they weren't in this set of stamps for $2.50. So that's it. let me know if there's a video you'd like me to see making some cards with any of these stamps, because I do plan on making cards. My next big project is probably going to be making Valentine's Day cards. I do a lot of Valentine's Day cards, but I also want to make a whole bunch of thank you cards one of these days as well. And I went on a big streak of doing men's themed cards or men's style cards that have, you know, they're not like really super bright and super floral or anything like that. They're just kind of like, they had like little metal brads and like metallic papers and cool washi tapes with like mountains and copper wood grain and things like that. So the next little bit I want to try making and working on is I do need to replenish my stockpile of birthday cards. So I need to get working on those. And then of course I need to get working on just generic, general, all-purpose cards that are for any occasion, because those are the ones that I want to donate. So if you'd like to see me make those, I might not make a whole bunch of them. I might just make a couple on camera so you can see what I do with the stamps, but let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Also, if you're interested in seeing me do a stamp cleanup video, I have recorded a stamp cleanup video for a couple of the other hauls that I've done, but let's just see which of these stamps is going to need cleaning up. Yeah, these ones definitely need it. These ones, this one, and I don't know if this one needs it, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to it anyways. This one looks brand new. But one of the things that's worth knowing is that sometimes when you buy old stamps at the thrift store, or you don't know where they've been stored or anything, it's still a good idea to just give them a little rinse with some dish soap and a gentle toothbrush. Scrub it out a little bit just in case, because the first time you stamp with them, there might be like a little factory coating or something on it. That's generally only true with photopolymer stamps, but you never know where it's been stored or what it was exposed to, and you want the rubber to remain pliable. And I feel like cleaning them off helps them stay in good condition. So what I usually do is I put some of my stamp cleaner on this. This is all-purpose cleaner. This is a little dirty because I've been using it on very dirty stamps. And then I have another tool that I use to scrub my stamps against, but you could also do it with a baby wipe or, you know, like I said, dish soap and a toothbrush is fine. Just as long as you're very gentle. You don't want to like scrub really hard. I'm sure it could withstand that on a good quality stamp, but you don't want to damage the stamp that you just got. Especially, you know, I don't know, the total cost of all of the things that I showed you in this video, I think it was less than $50. So I spent, you know, about maybe $50 or so, and I got so many stamps. I mean, right now the trend, the hot thing is these photopolymer stamps, and there were so many of them there. There were so many of them, but I'm kind of tired of photopolymer stamps right now. I only got one because I'm finding that they don't last as long. Maybe it's just the way I'm storing them. Maybe it's the brand, the cheaper ones that I'm buying. They just don't seem to be lasting. But meanwhile, my rubber stamps that I bought ages ago are still going strong, still really good, in good shape, as long as I'm cleaning them. Like, they are doing great impressions. So that's just something that I thought I'd go ahead and invest in some more rubber stamps. Yes, they take up more space. Yes, that's kind of annoying, but I am working on getting rid of my scrapbooking paper, and then when I get rid of that paper, I'll have room for my stamp collection. And I'm also not keeping stamps that I'm not using. So if I buy all these stamps and then I only ended up using, like, you know, 5 or 6 of these stamps, I'll donate the other ones back. I'll re-gift them on my Buy Nothing group, or I'll send them back to the scrap reuse store so that they can be sold again. So, you know, it's not like I'm just going to the store, buying new stamps. New stamps are being produced. New rubber is being harvested from rubber trees, which is a whole ethical thing that I don't want to get into in this video, but you can research it, you can look it up yourself, you can decide if that is something that you are okay with. Just like photopolymer, you know, you can decide if the production of brand new photopolymer is something that you're comfortable with. You know, at this point in the game, like, pretty much everything we do is not environmentally conscious, so everyone decides where their level of comfort is with the things that they do, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just making choices that I feel good about or better about by not buying things that are brand new to me, and then being thoughtful and careful about what I'm choosing to invest in, what the lifespan of that product is. And I only know that because of having spent, you know, 20 odd years making things with stamps, having stamps that have lasted that long. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox here and stop lecturing you guys, because that's not what you're here for. You are here for the haul content. But if you want to get into a conversation about, you know, ethical consumption, that is something I'm open to. I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you got some ideas on ways that you can find products that you want to use or materials that you want to use for your crafting in a more sustainable and ethical way, because that is something that I feel like I want other people to know, where they can access materials on their budgets, because not everybody has, you know, $30 to drop on one set of stamps from like a name brand, and I'm not going to hate on anybody who does that. It's just not within my budget. So hopefully other people are able to see where you can buy things, get a good haul. This is not Goodwill, but you could probably hunt Goodwill. You could check on your local Buy Nothing group if anybody has some stamps that they're getting rid of. You could check Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. There are a lot of different places that you could check and find some things that are in your area and in your budget. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this whole video. Let me know in the comments if you had something that you wanted me to show, or if you've seen like this one. I was really curious. Have you seen anybody use this one? And if there's anything that you have a good idea on for how I could use some of those stamps that I was kind of stuck on, let me know. Also, if you are like me and you do a lot of different kinds of crafts, you have a lot of different things that you work on, just, you know, I'm curious, like, what are your things that you work on? Because I obviously, in here, I've got my paper crafting, and I've got my cross stitching, and then I also had my beading or my jewelry making stuff. So right there, you've seen like 3 hobbies in one video. So I'm curious if you guys do multiple crafts or hobbies. What are those hobbies? Let me know. If you do multiple hobbies like me, or if you even share some of the same hobbies that I do, I'd be curious. So that's cool, because I don't really know a lot of people that are as crafty as I am, or that share the same hobbies that I do. So that would be fun to know. All right. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!